Om Shanti Shambhu Mahadeva. Third sloka, verse 3, we stopped it.
Timirandas. Last para Timirandas.
Yeah, this. Tejas Timira Sangavam Sankachati. Tejas Timira Sangavat. Timira Sangavat. Is that? Timira means darkness. No? The darkness in us is the cause of the problem or the ignorance. Or ignorance is called darkness. And because ignorance only that we are unable to identify what is the real and unreal. The power of discrimination of the mind is not being achieved because of Timirangam, that means darkness. It's not that it doesn't have the knowledge, it has the knowledge, but the darkness enveloping that, we are unable to identify that. Like in any darkness, we cannot see anything. In our life also it is like that. We are unable to see the truth, we are unable to see the realities because there is no light, there is darkness. When the light comes, then we are able to see everything. In our life also, in our Atma also, the truth and untruth, or the real and unreal, we are unable to discriminate because of the darkness in the mind. So the darkness in the room, here Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya is emphasizing on the knowledge, Dhyanam. So he says, the example here he says that if you sweep, suppose there is darkness, if you keep on sweeping, or if you keep on fanning, or if you keep on taking baskets full of darkness and throw it out, the darkness cannot go. It is not possible. Nothing can take out the darkness out. Is there anything that can take out the darkness? Nothing other than light. Even a small light when it's taken inside, the big darkness or the thick darkness or the gross darkness will suddenly vanish away. Similarly, when we gain our knowledge, Dhyanam, of the Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Dhyanam, or the self-realization, Atma Tattvam, when we understand that, immediately our misunderstanding of the universe, misunderstanding of light, our life, misunderstanding of our karmas, everything will vanish. We will exactly know what we are, where we are, what we are supposed to do, how we are supposed to do, all actions, inactions, unactions, everything can be immediately identified. Nothing else is required. Only the Dhyanam has to be revealed inside that. That's the thing. So any amount of sweeping, any amount of fanning, any amount of trying to remove the darkness by physical action will not help. That means, what does it mean? What बोलना चाहते हैं वो? Any amount of action, any amount of ritual, that you do, the darkness will not go away. Unless the knowledge you gain, the Dhyanam you gain. You are doing puja, you are doing chanting, you are doing mantras, you are going to pilgrimage, you are doing dhanam, you are doing a lot of charity, you are doing a lot of things. or fasting, upavas, everything you are doing. But mukti has not come, moksha has not come, revelation of the Brahmajnanam has not come. That means that this is what he is trying to tell. That means any action cannot remove the darkness. Any action cannot remove the ajnanam, avidya. In order to remove the ajnanam, avidya, there has to be a Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattva. That has to be understood. You can do it. You do puja, you do chanting, you do everything. It's okay. It's all. You go to pilgrimage, everything. You do dhanam. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. No problem. Absolutely okay. But they are not. They will not reach you towards the moksha. They will not reach you towards the mukti. They will not reach you towards the truth to identify what is real and what is unreal. The power of discrimination will not come. They will only purify, start purifying. These are all process for purifying the self, making more of concentration, more of understanding, and by this what happens? One should gain. But normally people throughout the life they do puja, but ultimately they have not gained anything. Because they are doing puja only physically, and they are doing puja only for the selfish motive. They want to become more egoistic. No? That please give me this, hey Bhagwan. No? Give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Do that, do this, do this. What are we doing? Actually, we are, as I told you in the last class also, we are increasing the ego. That's all. Whereas, by doing all these things, what we have to do, we have to have the release of the ego and complete emptiness has to be there. We have to do the total samarpanam, that I am nothing, Bhagavan is everything, Ishvara is everything, Brahman is everything, I am the only thing, that this is the Jivatma. The realization of the Atma Tattvam, or the realization of the Jivatma Tattvam has to come, then only you will get a moksha or mukti. Otherwise it is not possible. So, Dhyanam is the only source, he is emphasizing that the Dhyanam is the only source that you get liberation, kaivalya, mukti from all these activities. All other things will only increase your egos. You can do it, all the practices one can do it. It is meant for the purification of mind. We do constantly puja, at one point of time we say that, why am I doing puja every day? That question will come. कोई पूछते भी है ना, there are so many, you have seen movies में, serials में सब देखते हैं. Hey भगवान, I am doing the puja to you every day, लेकिन हमको तुमने कष्ट दिया, हमको दुख दिया, हमको दिया. That's what we say normally. If you are doing puja, why you are not getting out of that? It's because of the ignorance. We are only acquiring the selfish motive of this one. That's what we want. Our intention is only bodily, shariram or sharira and mana should be happy. Satisfaction should be there, sharira should be happy, mind should be happy. That's what we want. But that is not the thing. That is not why we have got the sharira. That is not why we have got the mana. Mind and sharira has been given to you to slog in this karma bhumi, to work for peace, to work for mukti, to work for moksha. There is no enjoyment here. Actually, everything is a work. Everything is a karma that we are supposed to do. So those karmas we have to identify for the purpose of purification. There are various karmas. Karmas that is accumulating ego should be avoided. The karmas that is giving us mukti, purity or lightness and relaxation should be done. Identification has to be done. This identification, this is called power of discrimination. Discriminate the real and dispense with the unreal. That's unreal, should not be accepted. There are real and unreal, everything is there in the world, it's all a mixture. That's why Hamsa, Paramahamsa, we said Hamsa, quality of Hamsa is that to separate milk and water mix karke, if you give to the Hamsa, If you drink it, it takes out the water and drink the milk. Or you take the milk out, drink the water. It can separate it by itself. See, like that in our consciousness, in our jnanam, we should be in a position to separate them. It is mixed all there. No? We have to separate the right, the real and the unreal. Unreal we should not accept it, and the real we should accept it. That will take you to the moksha liberation. So, the two points here emphasizing, Bhagavan is emphasizing here is that one, that action will not get you the darkness out or ignorance out. It is the jnanam that will give you the ignorance out. One. Second is that, they say now, yes, what's that? What I have been explaining now.
The real and unreal. Real and unreal.
Identification of the reality and discrimination, power of discrimination. So this discrimination can come, that only can remove our ajnanam, avidya from us. When the ajnanam and avidya is gone, like the small candlelight when you take to the big darkness, the darkness goes away. Same way, the spark of the jnanam inside us will remove all the ajnanam, avidya, and then we get the mukti from that. What is the mukti? Mukti from karmas, karma mukti. That's called as a karma mukti. Because when we have to do karma, then we'll have to have sharira and mana. When we have karma mukti, we won't have sharira and mana. There will be no cycle of birth and death. We will get moksha or mukti. So remove the misunderstanding about your true nature, and the Atman stands revealed. So the true nature of us, our Atma is the Parabrahman. Atma is all bright, all knowledgeable, and absolute jnanam. It is not, there is nothing in that. It's only that ajnanam, because of the attachment and attraction and association with the externalities, with the Buddhas, with the outside world, we are not in a position to reveal the light inside. The next shloka is explaining about that. So he says, in this sense alone, it is stated that the action cannot destroy ignorance. Knowledge alone is the antidote for the ignorance. Nothing else can. So any amount of action will not be in a position to remove the ignorance or the ajnanam or avidya. And everything that happens in our life is only because of ajnanam and avidya. Because we do not know what is the truth, what is the real, what is the nature, what is the prakriti. That's called dharma. That to know the truth of the prakriti or the nature is called dharma. So when we do dharmic way of living, that means according to the nature's law, that means according to the law of the prakriti, that means prakriti niyama, that is there, which is called as existence. That nobody has made it. No human being has made it. Nobody has made it. It is the same. Dharma is the same from the beginning to end. It cannot change. Only certain application, modification can be done, but dharma cannot be changed. It is the same thing. Dharma is only that to maintain the peace, that means which doesn't create any agitation to mind and agitation to universe, agitations to others. This is called dharma. Dharmic way of living. That means rightful way of living. Dharmic way of living. Dharma, that has to be followed. Not any religion. We are not talking about any religion. Religion is based on the people who are following certain dharmas, we call it as the religion. Sanatana dharma, they said that Sanatana dharma. Sanatanam means what? Sanatana means that everything is peaceful and equal. When everything is equal, there is no disturbance. If there is no adhikam of the anything, that means santosha and santapa, we call it, or the dukkha and sukha, santosha and santapa, sukha and dukkha. If it is samana, then we won't feel actually. Because something is more, something is less, then only we start feeling it. Everything is same, then there is no problem. If the cold is too much, then we feel cold. If it is the same, heat is too much, we feel the heat. If the heat and cold is same, then we feel comfortable. Similarly, Sanatanam is that in dharmam, in execution of karmas, we should have that similarity. There should be no excesses. What do you mean by that? Sanatanam means that equal means there should be no excesses doing it. No excess of the pleasures, no excess of the santapa, kashta, or the unhappiness. Nothing should be there. That if we can maintain the balance of it, that means, that is why Bhagavan said in Bhagavad Gita also that even in dukkha, that one should feel the happiness of it, sukha of that. Dukkha is identified as dukkha when we are not in a position to handle it. Dukkha is identified as dukkha because we have a desire for something. When that is not fulfilled, then we call it as dukkha. When you do not have a specific desire, anything happens, it is not a dukkha. So Bhagavan said, make it equal and give it. There is nothing called dukkha, there is nothing called kashta. For each individual dukkha and sukha, they are different. For me, sukha is different. For you, sukha is different. For me, dukkha is different. For you, dukkha is different. Somebody doesn't have food, he has dukkha. Somebody doesn't have money, he has got dukkha. But somebody has got money, but don't have food, still he has got dukkha. Who has got sukha? Ultimately, the sukha dukkha vityasam, that means the differences should not be there. That means there should be no excesses. When there is no excesses, that means that's called brahmacharya. In brahmacharya, we are maintaining the austerity. Austerity means everything in its own position. When we have everything in its own position, we don't have sukha, dukkha is not there. That identification will not be, dukkha will not be there. Excess sukha, excess sukha will bring excess dukkha. This is also there. So we should know how to enjoy really. That's what ultimately it is. We should know how to enjoy the life, because through enjoyment you do your karma. That means when you do your karma, when you are satisfied, you are enjoying it. That means any karma that you are doing, you should be enjoying. That's called Sanatana Dharma. How can I do that? Each karma what I am doing, how can I enjoy it? Suppose I have to take a pickaxe and then dig the pit, maybe my body is paining and things like that. That you have to understand, when you are digging a pit, you should know that I am digging this for planting a tree. When I plant my tree, it will grow up, it will give fruits. When it gives fruits, we all will enjoy. If that thought is there, then the strain you are doing will not be there. No? You all know that when we are doing cooking, kitchen mein khana banate hain. Is it a trouble? Some days it is a trouble, or nowadays many days it is a trouble. Otherwise, the real chef who is doing it, he is experimenting. No, देखो ऐसा बनाने से ऐसा होगा, ऐसा अच्छा लगेगा. इसको थोड़ा सा ये ऐड कर दो तो थोड़ा अच्छा और लगेगा. Suppose you think that, will you have problem? No, will you have accident? The kitchen is hot, sweating, but still, when you are making it, you will enjoy it. But अच्छा किसी तरह खाना बनाने का है झमेला है. The moment you think that, you have got kashta. The same making food, khana banana, it's got sukha and dukkha. So the purpose is different. How you take it, how you accept in your life, jo bhi karma karte hain, whatever karma we are doing, we should do it happily, is called Sanatana Dharma. That means you should choose karmas that which makes you happy. You got it? The other way around. You should not do anything that will create unhappiness for you. Don't do that. I remember about this one. You know, there's a song, Kishore Kumar का एक song है, दुखी मन मेरा, सुनो मेरा कहना, वहाँ नहीं रहना, जहाँ नहीं रहना, where there is no रहना, वहाँ नहीं रहना, दुखी मन. So दुख को निकालने के लिए what is that? Don't stay there. When you stay there, then only there is dukkha. How? That means your perception, concept of thinking should be that you should choose that what gives any karma that what you are doing, it should give happiness, or do the karma with happiness. Otherwise don't do it. ठीक है, we have to do it. ठीक है, doesn't matter. I have to do it, let me do it. Okay. Don't think it is kashta, it is wrong, it is bad. So you choose that karma. You have to choose the karma like that to execute them. So any karmas, that means past life karmas, sancheda karmas, or prarabdha karmas can be completed by just doing it that I am supposed to do it, let me do it, so you will have no dukkha, no kashta. Suppose you think it is difficult, nahi karna chahiye and all that, then you have got all sorts of problems. No. This is what is called Sanatana Dharma. This is called Dharma. That means you create peace to yourself. Who will give you peace? Shanti aapko kaun dega? Who will give you? You have to be peaceful, you will get peace. Peaceful cannot be taught. You cannot learn it, how to do it. कैसे शांति मिलेगा आप सिखाइए. Keep quiet. So what is the medicine? Keep quiet, you will get Shanti. शांत रहो तो शांति मिलेगी. That शांत रहने के लिए, that's called dharma. To be calm, when we can be calm? When we have no problem. When we have no agitation of mind. Things that makes agitation of mind should not be done. Things that doesn't create any agitation to mind should be done. Or that's why we should have knowledge. We should have discrimination power. What is good, what is bad. What is real, what is unreal. To discriminate that. Once you discriminate it, unreal should be removed. I will not do that. Okay. No? You go to some other place, maybe, oh, that's a beautiful place, this, that and all that, but my health is not alright. No, I will not go, because my health is not alright. This is, no, I'm just telling you a small example. It may be any good. That place may be good, that may be everything, any advantage, nothing, that all. But I am not well. Why should I go? So I should know what is right and what is wrong. What is real, what is unreal. I don't go. No problem. This is called power of discrimination. So you should be in a position to identify which karma to be done, which karma should not be done. This comes only by practice of the Veda, Vedanta and Tapasya, meditation, Dhyanam. Through that we will be in a position to identify the true nature of ourselves, and according to our true nature, through that discrimination, what is real for me, what is unreal for me, what is good for me, what is not right. When I identify the real and unreal, that which is good, then automatically it's good for me, we can do the practice. So he says that knowledge alone is the antidote for the ignorance. This Dhyanam has to be acquired. Why we are attending satsang, why we are reading books, why we are going to temples, why we are doing all this, all to acquire Dhyanam of the Brahma Dhyanam, to have balance of the mind. We call it as balancing the mind. What's called balancing the mind? Balance. You see, balance means both sides should be same. That is what samana, that's why again. So to bring that samanvata, that equanimity in that thing, where we do not have any differences, sukha, the identification of sukha and dukkha should not be there. Then it is balance. When I put Sukha here, this will go up. When I put Dukkha here, this will go up. No? So Sukha, Dukkha should not be there. Samana means don't put anything here, don't put anything here. Both are same for you. This identification, this is difficult, I do understand. For normal people it is difficult. It has to be practiced. This is why we are doing satsanga, we are doing reading Vedas, Upanishads, things like that, where they identify the samanata, where they identify the equanimity, where they identify this is called Sanatanam, this is called Dharmam, this is called Sanatanam. Executing that Sanatanam is called Sanatana Dharmam. Got it? Then only we will be in a position to have the power of discrimination. First we have to bring stillness to the mind. Then only we will be able to do the discrimination, power of discrimination. If I am attracted to only this, I will have agitation. If I am attracted to only that, then also we have agitation. Then we won't be able to. When I am turning my face here, I cannot see what is here. No? When I turn my face here, I cannot see what is here. But I should keep it like that so I can see both sides. This is what it's. I mean, simple example for that. That means I should not acquire things which are not necessary for me. That identification has to be there. Now this, how can I get it? Yes, it is difficult for normal people. Just like that, it is not possible. We have to do Dhyanam, we have to do chanting, we have to create vibrations, the frequency of vibrations in our mind and things like that has to be changed. So that we have to settle down to stillness. That means not much of desires, selfishness. ये सब किस लिए होता है? Ego. I am. Aham. That's why the name is known as Ahamkara. Ahamkara. It is not Aham, it is Ahankara. That means it's a made out Aham. Kara means Kriti. That means doing, Pravarti. That's called Karate. Karate iti Karam. That means that something is being done. So when you do something to make you important, that has to get lost. That's called Ahankara. That is Aho Karate iti Ahankara. That means I am the one. I am thinking that my Sharira is me, my mind is me, my money is mine, my wealth is mine, my family is mine, my this is mine, everything is mine. I recently saw this one also. Plus I know it from the beginning because I had been chanting that from the early ages. Chamakam and then Rudram and Chamakam. No, that's it. So the Daksha, when his head was removed, and then it has to be replaced by, you know the story, Dakshaka. It was replaced by the goat Kai, because I mean it's not a very logical explanation, but still the goat says only me. So even though it is, I think it is jokingly said, I don't find any relevance to the absolute knowledgeable explanation if you ask me. I cannot. But okay, for satsang, for people to impress upon, it's all okay, maybe. So he said that after Rudram, the Chamakam has to be chanted. Rudram, but the whole total principle of Rudram, I'm deviating from the subject slightly. Rudram and Chamakam. Rudram is that Raudrata. It's called Rudram. That means when you do Rudram, chanting of Rudram, of Bhagavan Shiva, the energy levels go so high that normal people cannot sustain. You will have discomfort, you will have problem. Even when the Raudram has come into Bhagavan Shiva, when that Raudrata has come, that characteristic of Raudra, that means high vibration has come into Shiva, then only he started dancing that Tandavam to cool down, to calm down, to do Tandava. That means something has to be done in order to calm down. So Rudram is so powerful, very powerful. If it is rightfully chanted, it's continuous, it cannot be stopped. chant now, because I'm not supposed to chant only few and then stop. So when it is chanted Rudram, you have to continuously, then you get high vibrational frequency. To calm, bring it down, you have to do Chamakam. Chamakam is that. So in Chamakam, of course, Chamakam one can always chant. That's all. Chamakam, after the Dhyanam, there is a 5 stanzas are there, which initially they start the Chamakam. Then this explanation of Daksha's may comes. Actually, that is not the reason, but still the explanation has been given. May bola hai. May means may. That ahankara of the Daksha, that is also not right, because his ahankara has already gone, because his head is removed. Abhi to got hai, ahankar kaha hai, chala gaya ahankar. So, but still for the, it's entertaining for people to. इसलिए may bola. Ekam cha me, dujam cha me, eko cha me. No, that means that the mathematics comes on that, where all the explanations of absolutely 148, 150 chants will come on that. That means that number of times, even though it is in the form of the poetry that in the initial stage it's aham chame, emam chame, samam chame, ek, then the count starts, ekam chame, then dvacham chame, trayam chame, like that, third and fourth and square root and all that will come. Then the number of chantings will come. That there, everywhere, chame, cha, me. So that's what Daksha. It is Daksha who has chanted the Chamakam. It is Daksha who has chanted the Chamakam actually. That means these. What is that? Somebody said it is mathematics. Somebody who has explained about it. He said about the ekam chame, dujam chame, dasham chame, navam chame, eko dasham chame. They have told that. That means number of numbers they have told. But what is that numbers meaning? What for? In a mantra, why the numbers have been? It's not for mathematical calculation. It's not for Vedic mathematics. It is then. This number of times of the aham, that means so many ahams are there in us. So many numbers, that means 158 ahams are there in us. In our characteristics, there are 150 types of ahankara in us. I am wealthy, I am rich, I am knowledgeable, I am mother, I am father, I am the head of country, I am prime minister, I am president, I am this, I am that, I am that. Like this, 150 odd these ahams are there in us for everywhere. All this aham, let us remove all this, that ahankara from us is why this has been told actually. That's why the numbers, of course, the numbers have been identified. But for identifying the numbers, this method is, there are so many other methods also. Madhavacharya and others have invented so many other numbers have been there. But this, in the Chamakam, this has been there. That means so many of these should be removed from me. So Daksha was chanting that the reason for me to have the suffering of this during the process of my tapasya, after having the ahankara removed, the other hand is put, he kept on chanting that these ahankaras let be removed from me and give me moksha, mukti, is the reason why he is chanting the Chamakam. So, chanting alone will not help, that's what happened. This ahankara, in order to remove the ahankara, all activities, जो भी हम लोग सोचते हैं कि वो we say that okay, घर में भागवत कथा रखा है and सबको इनविटेशन नोटिस भेजा है, सब लोग, हम भी गया था कहीं पर, वहां जाके खाना पीना करके वापस आ गया. We don't sit to this. सप्ताह हमें 7 days को करने का है, but nobody sits there. For half an hour he will sit, 1 hour he will sit. There are only very few people who will sit there सप्ताह. ठीक है, घर में सप्ताह. Now what? Why that is important? By doing saptaham, he is expecting after 7 days, like Parishit has got the moksham, All the people who are in the house will get moksha. But after 7 days, the Acharya or the Panditji who has been reading it, he has taken his money and he has gone. किसी को मोक्ष नहीं मिला आज तक. क्यों? I am not discouraging that, not jokingly saying that's not that. You should do Bhagavad Katha. You should listen to Bhagavad. You should understand Bhagavad. What is the principle of it? You should practice it. Then you get moksha. You derive that jnanam out of it, then only it is right. Not just for the sake of doing it, just doing a karma. It will become a papa karma actually. Instead of punya karma, it becomes you have made a mockery of that actually. You will do Bhagavad Katha and you just do only eating and going, and there is no other importance is given. Ye paap hai ki punya hai? An auspicious thing is being disgraced there. Somebody says that when we have satsang, somebody getting up and going away, we say that no, it should not be done. कोई भी अच्छे संगत में बीच में उठ के जाना ठीक नहीं. Why? Why? Because it's a disgrace, dishonor to that. So in Bhagavad, why we are doing it? All are doing it. So what happens is that the knowledge alone can give you moksha. Why I am telling all these things? Just by doing a ritual, just by doing a karma, just by doing this, moksha cannot. Action cannot destroy ignorance. Knowledge alone can destroy the ignorance. This ajnana, when it removes, then only I will be in absolute happiness. That's called the absolute happiness, absolute dharmam, absolute. That's called the Ananda, Bhava of the Ananda, Turiya Avastha, Ananda Avastha, Anandam. Not happiness, not pleasure, Ananda Avastha. Verse 4, so the Treta, so the third shloka is completed. Now Bhagavan goes to fourth shloka is that. Parichinnaiva jnanat tanashe sati kevala swayam prakashate hi atma megha vayom shumaniva. Parichinna iva jnanam tanashe sati kevalam swayam prakashate hi atma megha vaye amshumaniva. Megha vaye amshumaniva. Like Megham is covering, Amshuman means Surya. Surya, sun. Anshuman is a Surya. Like the Surya Prakasha is covered by the clouds. Our Jnanam is covered by the clouds of ignorance. The Surya is same Prakashavan always. It doesn't dim the light all the 24 hours actually. But for us it is night indeed. But all 24 hours the Surya is doing the Prakasha at the same intensity, same flux. The light is measured with the flux. The same flux, same temperature. There is no day changes. Where are the changes happening? The clouds that is forming, or the weather that is happening, or the wind that is blowing, or things like that. But Surya Prakasha, similarly. In us, the Atman, the Paramatman, or the Parabrahman, is always Prakashavan. Is always highly bright. And our higher consciousness is always highly knowledgeable. High knowledge, high jnana will be there. But the jnana is clouded. Here he is emphasizing the third sloka, more or less the same meaning. Third or fourth sloka is more or less same, but in a different way he has put it. Parichinna iva jnanam. Parichinna iva jnanam means the self appears to be finite. because of ignorance. When we are discussing something, we are telling something, we think we are permanent here. No, we will not die. Finite. We think we will live so long. No? So we give according to that. All our actions are based on our permanency, is it not? When others die, for some time we have got smashana vairagya, we call it. Smashana vairagya. When you go to smashanam, when the body is burning, then we will say, Hum log ka bhi yahi halat hai kal. That is only in smashanam. The moment you come out of smashanam, मेरा पैसा क्या हुआ, मेरा वो क्या वो हो गया, वैराग्य खत्म, स्मशान वैराग्य, that's called स्मशान वैराग्य. Only we are conscious only when something is happening in front of us, then it's happening. After that again we think we will not, we are permanent. That is what is called parichinna iva jnanam. I think that jnana means because of the ignorance, parichinna iva jnanam. Parichinada means that difference. Because of the ignorance, we think we are permanent, we are finite. When ignorance is destroyed, it is recognized to be infinite, absolute. Infinite. When ignorance is destroyed, then we recognize that it is infiniteness. The self reveals itself by itself, like the sun when the clouds pass away. We call it as self-realization, self-revelation, Atma, everything. Even though we are telling all those things, you and I also say the same thing, it's a wrong usage actually. Self-realization, it is like that, the self is already realized. Self is already prakashavan. The Atma is already knowledgeable. All the jnanam is there in us. All the absolute jnanam is there. But unfortunately, this jnanam is covered, veiled by the ajnanam, ignorance is why. Swayam prakasham, that means self has got atma prakasham automatically. Like the sun is constantly, bright, Atma is also constantly bright, but this brightness, we are not feeling it. We have got all that sorts of, different thoughts and different beings, only because of the clouds are covering. The clouds of ignorance is covering us. So he says that same main idea contained in the last verse is elaborated. When it is stated that knowledge alone destroys ignorance, it means mere ritualistic actions cannot bring about the desired result. He is not discouraging to do rituals, ऐसा नहीं है. But mere execution of the rituals alone will not bring the moksha or mukti, or will not bring the results. So ritualistic action, you can do it, you should do it also. Otherwise, the purity is impossible. No, initially we have to start somewhere. So घर में बोलते हैं कि संध्या वंदन करो, संध्या दीपम जलाओ. Then you start chanting mantras during the morning sandhya and evening sandhya. Both sandhyas we do all sorts of these things, because these all bring us a consciousness that there is something beyond me. No? Who am I praying to? God. Okay. Where is God? Up. What is up? Up means above me. Up means above me. Above me means beyond me. Above me. That means my sharira and my mana is not same. So to make us conscious this one, initially they are put slowly, step by step to come to that. At one point of time, we have got a process called, after the vardhakya, balyam, kaumaram, yauvanam, then vardhakyam. After the vardhakya, We have to do the Vanaprastha. No? In Vardhakya, we have to do Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is that Vaname Jana. That means going to the Vana. Vana is that where there are no activities of human beings, where there are no karmas, just to go. That's called Vanaprastham. Vanam. Those days people used to really go to Vanam and stay there alone, so that they are not contacted, they don't contact with the people, they just go away. Like old days, people go to Kashi. In Amlo ke yahan bolte the. Somebody is going to Kashi, that means he will not come back, he will be there only. Kashi Yatra, that means the last Yatra. In some of the marriages there is a ritual in South India, that the Vara will take an umbrella, potli sab laga ke, he will go to, it's only acting, he will really not go. If you leave him, ठीक है जाओ, वो नहीं जाएगा. वहाँ पर up to the gate, he is supposed to go up to the gate. Then the father-in-law, जो लड़की का पिता है, he has to go there and tell him that don't go to Kashi, you come back, I will get my daughter married to you, you live happily and with your family and all that. He will immediately come back, of course. But that's a ritual, you see. The ritual is that otherwise he takes sannyasa. That means after the Kaumara, during the Kaumara, one is a brahmachari. After Balyam, in Kaumara, one is a brahmachari. In that brahmacharya only, Vidya is acquired through the brahmacharya, where the Gurukula is there and things like that, where they go in the Yauvanam, in the Kaumara only. That Kaumara, he has to be a total brahmachari. So after brahmacharyam, he has to go to Vanaprastha actually, go to sannyasa. So after brahmacharyam, he is supposed, these are all rituals. But even though it is ritual, it gives us a consciousness that once you go to that place, that means there is no return. That means when you go to the absolute spiritual path, you realize that no return. That means Kashi Jana, not coming back, means you go to the spirituality. That means Vanaprastha, when you go to that absolute Jnanam, when you gain, you go to that Brahma Jnanam, Brahma Tattvam, and you will not come back to the normal life. That is the meaning of it actually, you see. So this is why the rituals that, any ritual that you are doing, you please do that ritual, no doubt about it. But then ritual you should be conscious that by my doing this I will not get moksha. This is only for purification of my mind and for concentration. That's why I am doing this, so that I will be in a position to go to, then you have to come to Dhyanam. Then Upasana, Nididhyasam, Upasana, Nididhyasam, Dhyanam, and then the absolute Dhyanam you are supposed to get. Then these are the process how you can go. So the ritualist elocution bring about the desired result. We need not to make the sun shine. No? Do we make anything? Anybody does the sun shine? By means of whatsoever it is, however bright, high up in the sky, by itself illuminating the world, all the seasons. As the clouds pass away, the sun gets revealed automatically. It's the cloud that is to be revealed. That means it is the Ajnanam that has to be revealed. During meditation, what we do actually, we are not doing, even though Brahma Dhyanam, we are not evoking the Brahma, you are not evoking the Atma. We are not evoking anything. We are only renouncing. You remember I have told that in our Upanishad classes that meditation is done for renunciation. Take away all from me. I am so full, attachment, backache ho gaya, because carrying unwanted baggage, lot of rubbish. Charlie has cleared like 2-3 minutes. Cleared so many things, carrying unwanted baggage. So we have become like this gradually. So to remove all unwanted things and renunciation, that's why we do Dhyanam. After Dhyanam, we gain the absolute peace, absolute Dhyanam. So there is the multiplicity of it, and then because of our misunderstanding and the consequent superimpositions, we come about understanding the ignorance about the Supreme Being. The Self alone exists as illuminated and makes its presence known by its life-giving power. Truly, therefore, this Atman in its supreme glory is unparalleled in its existence and reveals its own Satya Chitta nature by itself. Those who are qualified to experience this truth are one who have no clinging attachment to the enchanting objects of the world outside. When you have the attachment to the world outside, what will happen? This Satta and Chitta will not be revealed in us. So that is with the fourth shloka is ending with that. And in the fifth verse of shloka, Bhagavan explains Ajnanagalusham jivam jnanabhyasadhi nirmalam krutva jnanam swayam nashyet jalam katakarenuvat Ajnanagalusham jivam jnanabhyasadhi nirmalam krutva jnanam swayam nashyet jalam karakarenuvat. Again the same thing, in a different way. Constant practice of self-knowledge purifies the egocentric self. Ajnana kalusham jivam, which is defied by ignorance, and having bestowed self-knowledge, it itself disappears just as the powder of the kataka nut settles down after it has cleaned the muddy water. Here an example he has given is that old days I had to go to what is this kataka seed. The powder of the kataka seed, kataka is a seed. The powder of that kataka seed, if you put in the muddy water, the mud gets settled down and absolutely pure clean water will be on top. So you can strain it and take it. Like when you put alum in water, all the dirt will settle down and then the clean water comes out. So there the medium is that here he says the kataka. Kataka is some sort of seed. When it is with the mud water, Ajnana Kalusham, full of Ajnana. Like we have got muddy water in the mind. Now, how to cleanse it? It is not possible. It's already unapproachable for us. It is there. How to do it? It is not for them. For this we have to do Dhyanam. That's why Dhyanam is compared here with the Kataka powder or the alum. That a medium to put something on that, then the clean water will come. So any amount of karmas or anything else will not bring the jnanam, it is not possible. You have to use this particular medium. Not that you put anything, it will cleanse the water. You have to put a particular medium in order to purify the water so that you get the clean water. Similarly, you have to put a particular medium, then only you will get purified and you will be able to reveal the reality of you. That's called the Dhyanam again. Unless you gain the Dhyanam, Jnana Abhyasa Siddhi Nirmalam. That Nirmalata can come only by Jnana Abhyasat. Jnana Abhyasat. Jnana Abhyasam. Abhyasam to the Jnana, to gain the Jnana knowledge. What are those? Again, it starts from Shravana, Manana, Dhyana, Upasana, Nidhyasana, and then comes all other things what we have told in our Upanishads in order to identify that. Through this listening of that and constantly being in that, you're, as I said, behind the back of the mind, Brahma Jnanam, the Brahman should always be there. The Dhyanam should always be there. The representation of the Dhyanam, Guru, Bhagwan, whatever it is, should always be there so that anything that is supersede, let it happen. Everything can happen in presence of that. Our karma has to be done. We have to do our karmas. Let the karma being done through the Sanatana Dharma so that our presence of the background, that where it is the base is there, the substratum is there, that should not be disturbed. See, after putting that alum or that dust, you should not shake it again and it will become again muddy. You will bring it up. Then what happened to immediately what you have to do? You have to slowly transfer that clean water from this to something else so that even if you shake it will not have mud. With the mud settle down, if you shake it will again happen. So, after doing the Dhyanam and the Nididhyasana and things like that, Guru Diksha has to be there so that you will be transferring this spot from this spot to the other part, this spot, again the Diksha. So that that will remain permanent and as cleansed, so that even if something happens, even if the externalities get attached, you see, or attachments, attractions, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, pada, matsarya, even if it happens, it will not disturb the stability of the cleaned water. It will not disturb the stability of the cleansed mind and intellect. And cleansed mind and intellect means once it is cleansed mind and intellect, it directly reflects to the Atman. When the water is absolutely pure, the reflect of the sun or the moon will happen absolutely clear in that. In the muddy water, it will be in a different color and different shape and things like that. Whereas in the clean water, this happens. So when your mind and intellect is cleansed by the process of the jnana abhyasam, that means through all these processes, through the Guru, when you do that, the mind is absolutely non-agitated and reflecting to the Atman or Paramatman. When it is reflecting to Paramatman, or the qualities of Paramatman is absolutely without any distortion, is recorded, registered in the reflector. In that reflector, with that, you will be in a position to execute your karmas in a dharmic way. That is the purpose of, that's called the cleaning of water through alum and things like that. This is the verse this explains. Constant practice of self-knowledge purifies the egocentric self, which is defined by ignorance, which is otherwise defined by the ignorance. Having bestowed self-knowledge, it itself appears just as the power of Kataka nut settles down after it has cleansed the muddy water. Itself. So you will find that when in a clean water, in a clean reflector, something reflects, you will find it's that only. There will be no difference that you can make whether it is a reflection or it's a real, because so pure, so clean, we cannot make out. This is exactly what we have to achieve. That is why we are doing all these practices. So he says here that spiritual ignorance gives rise to agitations of the intellect and the blabbering of the mind. I have already explained these things, so not further taking up. The mind-intellect equipment reflects the light of the consciousness, and the self thus conditioned by the mind and intellect is the individual or jiva. That's called the jiva. That's called jiva. The other one is ahankara. This is jiva. The one suffering the limitations of the matter is the ego that he is next to it. Yes. The sharira and mana, which is enjoying all these things, are only ego, which is comparable with the own reflections that we see in the mirror. It is but natural that we look distorted if the reflecting surface or concave and convex. Similarly, the ugliness of our reflections can end only when the reflecting surface are either destroyed or straightened. The reflector has to be done. That means our mana is a reflector that has to be straightened, has to be cleansed. So I told you how to clean it. That is through Dhyanam. The quietude of the mind, ultimately sublimation of the thought current in the single process accomplished by the meditation. Jnana Abhyasam. Here he says Jnana Abhyasam means meditation, Dhyanam. The process of negating, what is Dhyanam? The process of negating our identification with the false matters, envelopments, and then asserting our divine spiritual nature constitutes the art of meditation, and this process is explained exclusively in the verses the following in this textbook. Meditation is following. So we already explained that only through meditation we will be in a position to renounce all those things. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. We have to get rid of them. Then only we will be clean, we will be purified, and we will be safe. If the continuous memory of that I am the matter, the ego center, then you know what happens. Then this remains. We will be continuing the other things in the. So this is the this is the fifth shloka. We go to verse 6. We'll do it in the next class. Okay. So today we have finished the 11th session. 11th session. Oh, Shanti.